All right, so we're continuing section 5.2, and we're going to talk about functions and function notation. So this is a function. We read this, p of x equals negative 2x cubed minus 4x plus 6. So this is the function p of x. That's how you read that. P is really the name of the function. X, or what's inside the parentheses, just tells you what variable you are using in your algebraic expression. So for example, if this had been p of r, all of these x's would have been r's. Okay, so what's inside the parentheses tells you what variable is used there. So knowing that, if I now want p of 0, all that means is I go to my function, and wherever I see an x, I'm going to replace it with what is in my parentheses, which is a 0. So it'll be a negative 2 0 cubed minus 4 times 0 plus 6. And now we just chug out the answer. Let's use our order of operations. So 0 cubed is 0 times negative 2 is 0 minus 4 times 0 is 0 plus 6. So you can see that p of 0 is going to be 6. So you plug in what's inside the parentheses. Let's do one more together. How about p of negative 2? So if I want p of negative 2, that's going to be negative 2 times negative 2 cubed minus 4 times negative 2 plus 6. Do our exponents first. Negative 2 cubed is negative 8 times negative 2 is 16. And then here, if I multiply negative 4 times negative 2, that's going to be plus 8 plus 6, and that's going to be 30. So why don't you go ahead and do the next two and then come back and check. So if I want p of negative 1, it just means plugging in negative 1 in for x. So that's negative 2 times negative 1 cubed minus 4 times negative 1 plus 6. Doing my exponents first, negative 1 cubed is negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. Negative 4 times negative 1 is plus 4 plus 6. And you can see p of negative 1 is going to be 12. And finally, p of 2. Let's see what p of 2 is going to be. So again, we're just going to plug in a 2. So it's going to be negative 2 times 2 cubed minus 4 times 2 plus 6. So 2 cubed is 8 times negative 2 is negative 16 minus 8 plus 6. That's negative 24 plus 6. So p of 2 is going to be negative 18. All right, let's move on to a couple of story problems. So here we go. You're going to grab your calculators if you don't already have them with you. I think we're going to need them. So luckily, these story problems are not going to be as bad as your chapter 2 story problems. So let's read this all the way through as always. So the longest side of a triangle is 2 feet less than 4 times the shortest side. The middle side is 3 feet more than twice the shortest side. Let x represent the shortest side. Find a polynomial function p that represents the perimeter of the triangle. So if we draw a triangle here. So we have 3 sides, and they call them the longest, the shortest, and the middle. So let's do down here, longest. This one is going to be the shortest. And this one out here is going to be the middle. All right, so it says that we want to let x represent the shortest side. So we're going to label that as x. And now let's build the other two sides on knowing that our shortest side is x. Well, let's see. What do they say about the longest side? It says the longest side is 2 feet less than 4 times the shortest side. How would I write 2 feet less than 4 times x? Well, that would be 4x minus 2. The middle side is 3 feet more than twice the shortest side. So how would I write 3 feet more than twice x? That would be 3 plus 2x. So now we've represented all of our sides. So now what does it say to do? Find a polynomial function that represents the perimeter. Well, what does perimeter mean? Perimeter means that we add all of the sides. So P of x, since I used x, that's what we should call it, is equal to, and I'm simply going to add all 3 sides together. And of course, I'm going to simplify that by combining like terms. So I have 1x plus 2x, which is 3x, plus 4x is 7x. And then I have a positive 3 and a negative 2, which is plus 1. And that's all they want us to do. They want us to build a polynomial function. And it's important that you label it correctly there. They're telling you to call it P. And because we used x, it's P of x. All right, this is the one we're going to use our calculator, I believe. So it says the population of Kenya can be modeled by this P of t. Notice it's a P function, probably stands for population, and t means they're using the variable t. The value t is the number of years since 2007. So in other words, t is going to be like a time. And P of t is the population of Kenya in millions. Find P of 3 and interpret its meaning. So if I want P of 3, that means I'm going to go to my function. Wherever I see a t, I'm going to put a 3. So it'd be 0.017 times 3 squared plus 1.04 times 3 plus 38. So here we go. So if we go ahead, plug it into the calculator, it would be 0.017 parentheses 3 parentheses squared. So see how I'm putting it in. And then I need plus 1.04 parentheses 3. And then I'm going to have the plus 38. So make sure that you see that I squared this 3, 1.04 times 3. I'm just kind of looking to make sure it's right. So when I do that, I get 41.273. So I find P of 3 and interpret its meaning. Well, first of all, remember our T is years since 2007. So if it's 3 years since 2007, what we now know is that in 2010, the population is 41.273. Now, remember, what did they tell us? The population is in millions. So it would be 41.273 million people. And that's the interpretation. If this trend continues, predict the population of Kenya for the year 2020. Well, I'm going to use it with that population function. And what am I going to plug in for P for 2020, knowing that it starts off in 2007? Well, we are going to use 13. So if I plug that in, I'm going to get 0.017 times 13 squared plus 1.04 times 13 plus 38. So now let's go ahead and plug that in, and I'm going to do the same thing. So 0.017 parentheses 13 squared plus 1.04 parentheses 13 plus 38. I got this, 54.393. What does that mean? So that means that in 2020, the population will be 54.393 million people. And there you go.